one more story I want to hit y'all with before we get out of here, because I feel like I have to do my civic duties. Okay. And I just want to know what y'all think, because I know we have an American audience, but I think y'all could probably relate to this. Premier Doug Ford is shutting down 10 consumption sites, free consumption sites. For the people who don't know what free consumption sites are, I think it's pretty obvious. Those are the places where people can go bang needles, do what they need to do in a safe environment. They're provided with syringes and different things like that. And a lot of these places are in neighborhoods that they just shouldn't be. Hold on, let me put it over here. I think I can find a quick news story.
The problem is working to fashion.
And I want to ask a question in the poll if Doug Ford is doing the right thing, right? Should we keep these free consumption sites up in places and, you know, have people just being able to do drugs in a safe way? However, they're doing drugs and then they hang out in front of the place. And when you're walking by there, Dundas Square, there's one right behind Dundas Square for the people over here in Toronto. When you're walking past Dundas Square, which is supposed to be a tourist attraction, you might step on a needle. I'm just saying.
Track a bill which would close 10 supervised consumption sites without any public consultation.
They want to create 19 new treatment hubs where drug use will not be allowed. Critics of the move say the closure of the current sites will lead to more deaths.
It's a bill that would see 10 supervised consumption sites shut down. Legislation the Ford government now wants to fast track without any public consultation.
This is a government bill we need to get passed.
The proposed bill would close all sites within 200 meters of a school or daycare and prevent new ones from opening. The government House leader tabling a motion to send the bill from second to third reading, bypassing committee. A move Steve Clark argues is justified after the province announced its intentions months ago to replace the sites with 19 homelessness and addiction recovery hubs, plus 375 supportive housing units.
Going back to August, we communicated to municipalities this was something we were going to move forward on.
Bypassing the committee stage means there will be no opportunities for public feedback. Critics argue it's imperative that legislators follow the process.
If we're going to look at legislation that is going to reduce the number of those sites, then we need to make sure that
and its heart hubs will focus on treatment.
Our heart hub models are going to ensure that there are opportunities for people to actually break that cycle of addiction.
But advocates and outreach workers have doubts and argue the supervised sites should remain open.
Removing these facilities will actually create, more overdoses, more fatal overdoses, more brain injuries, more people using in public.
They are slamming the government for not holding public consultations.
They know it's a reckless and dangerous decision. It goes against their own staff reports that recommend scaling up the services instead of shutting them all down. If I had an opportunity to speak to government about this, my question would really be, well, what are you really doing to address people's actual wellness and safety?
The bill is among.
So instead of, they're going to be closing, they're probably going to get this bill passed. They want to close down 10 spots and open up, and just 10 spots all over Ontario, 5 of them being over here in Toronto. Okay. But they're going to be opening up a different type of spot where you're not going to be allowed to use drugs. However, you will be able to get the treatment that you need. I guess what Ford is trying to encourage here is, rather than just go to a place where you can go just do drugs and we'll just provide you with a bunch of needles and you just stay on the drugs, if you want to come to us, it's because you're trying to get off the drugs. All right.
Several pieces of legislation the Ford government is fast-tracking, the opposition calling the move undemocratic.
They want to get out of here as fast as they can. They don't want to hear from the experts. They don't want to hear from the people who actually are on the front line, and they don't want to hear from the people who are most impacted.
The government intends to spend $378 million on the new heart hubs. Mike Walker, CTV News.
Yo, that's what you got to show on my goddamn YouTube, bro. Chill, bro. Chill. Jesus Christ.
People who are most impacted.
The government intends to spend $370.
Let's stop it there. I just trying to find a nice image that I can keep on the screen here, because Damn. What up, V First? So, a lot of people hate on Doug Ford for a lot of the decisions that he makes, but I ain't mad at him for this one. I'm going to also play devil's advocate. I do understand the other side, the opposition side, saying if you just take these sites down, you're going to have way more junkies in the street. Here's the problem. We got mad junkies in the street anyway. If you go downtown Toronto, if you go Kingston Road, if you go to a lot of different places, y'all could even hit in the chat of different places in Toronto where you're going to walk and trip over junkies. Okay? So as far as having all of these safe consumption sites, it hasn't cut down any level of the amount of drug addicts that are on the street. To be honest, in my opinion, and I guess in Ford's opinion, it's making it worse. You could just go do a bunch of heroin inside of the spot, maybe take a couple of extra needles with you, and then go walk out on the street and go cause mayhem. I'm just saying, a lot of people might look at me and say, yo, you have a very conservative view. Bro, I've lived downtown for a long time, and I've seen some people walking in the middle of the streets doing some of the wildest, nastiest, craziest shit. Butt-naked women walking in the middle of traffic between the two different medians or whatever because she just high off fentanyl. Injection sites and all that shit right around the corner. It's not helping. So if it's not helping, get rid of the shit. Does anybody have a reason why maybe they should just keep these up? Because I could understand if it is solving the problem, but if it's not really solving the problem, then it's just you're wasting the taxpayers' dollar, bro. I remember when I went to Vancouver, because they had a whole bunch of free consumption sites, and they used to have a rule, but they got rid of that rule, thank God, where if you have... How long have you been on the street? If you have under 2 grams of anything on you, then they're not going to arrest you. They got rid of that, I think, a few years ago because, to be honest, that shit wasn't working. But if you go down to somewhere like Hastings, where they have a whole bunch of free consumption sites, this shit is nasty.
Well, I mean, I see in shelters and stuff, but I think I'm going to move back to where my dad is.
Let's go to right around here. Man, Vancouver's not no joke. That's Hastings. I think there's a free consumption site where I got the arrow around here. Bunch of crackheads, bunch of fentanyl, all type of heads. Man. And I'm going to actually try to go into a free consumption site. So I just want to know, like, I'm out here from Toronto. I'm very mesmerized just by the amount of, I don't know, just stuff that's going on out here. So what is this place for?
This place is the Downtown East Side Women's Center.
Uh-huh.
And we provide women with support. Sorry.
That's cool.
We're in an emergency right now. Like, we have to lock down.
Okay. Look at this guy right here. Leaning. Thank you.
Yeah, and what? I don't give a dumb. I'll give you the truth. I don't have HIV, and you gain diabetes depressing. You idiot.
Okay, this is Vancouver right now. I was there last year. This is not years ago, 10 years ago. This is 2023. This is what the strip looked like. If you want Toronto to look like this, then open some more free consumption sites. Go for it. We'll be Hastings in 10 minutes. You don't want Yonge Street to turn into Hastings or Queen Street. We're in a wild part of town. And listen, this is about maybe about 10 blocks worth of junkies. This is not 2 or 3 block radius. This is about maybe 10, 12, 15 blocks.
Don't do that to your membership kid. I hate him for nothing, but you do not do that. Ask any one of his friends to try.
I was wilding. I shouldn't have been out here with a camera. I seen a couple of trappers out there. All right. I'm there walking with the camera, expensive camera around my neck. I see a couple of guys wearing Nike tech suits and shit, some Filipino youths. And I'm thinking to myself, God damn. You're doing so well, Friday. Hopefully you get through this. And then luckily, one of the youths said, yo, don't you do that podcast thing over there in Toronto? The hip hop podcast shit? I said, yeah. We love hip hop. He said, yeah, bro. And he nudged his homie. He said, bro, this guy he interviewed Casper, bro. He interviewed Houdini. I said, yeah. You're doing good, boy. You're doing good. Right? Because I was just dolly. I wasn't holding, and I'm just dolly with the camera. The camera and God.
Go! Bonnie Crosby gave Crusty eggs! Yeah, Jesus! What are you gonna do? Shoot me for telling the truth? I do, because I'm so depressed right now. Because people are just constantly on me every time that I like bring myself up. They steal, and it's just.
And the reason I'm showing you all this is because this is what Toronto can become if we just keep up what we got going on right now. Just keep it going. We got free consumption sites or safe consumption sites, my bad. You know, we got a bunch of new fentanyl heads that are popping up every day. Crack is whack. It's this old school. That's the 90s, 80s, 90s shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my time. Right? They're on the new shit now. They're bugging off of that Fenty. Okay? Heroin is at an all-time high. It's making a comeback. So, if we want Toronto to look just like Hastings, keep it up. We're doing great. We're on the exact track that we need to be, where 10 years from now, for every one regular civilian that's walking down the street, you can have 5 drug addicts. It's a 5-for-1 plan. If that's what you want, keep it up. But anyhow, salute to Doug Ford for once. Okay? A rare W for the man, Doug Ford. I'm not going to do no round of applause, none of that dumb shit. But I think I'm going to leave it there.
We love hip hop.